for starting this course, yoga therapy. I think for the first time anywhere that such course has been started to train the people to appear for yoga therapy, Ayush protocol. But appearing for Ayush protocol, moreover, learning is more important. Whether you appear for the exam or whether you get to the exam is another thing, but learning is important. And that platform is being provided by Thane School of Yoga and Vijayji. So I really appreciate that. So now we are going to start a series of lectures on the topic called as anatomy and physiology. तो आपकी शायद दो सिस्टम्स पहले आप सीखे हैं ये कोर्स में, लेकिन ये आज के जो शुरुआत का जो प्रेजेंटेशन है वो खास करके जो लोग जिन लोग को योग की बैकग्राउंड नहीं है, दे डोंट हैव एनी बैकग्राउंड ऑफ फॉर्मल योगा एजुकेशन, और दोज हु डोंट हैव एनी साइंस बैकग्राउंड, फॉर दोज आई एम गोइंग टू प्रेजेंट यू सम बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स ऑफ एनाटॉमी एंड फिजियोलॉजी. और ये एनाटॉमी फिजियोलॉजी हम क्यों सीखते हैं, कि योगा में उसका क्या संबंध है, एनाटॉमी फिजियोलॉजी सीखनी चाहिए, किसके लिए सीखनी चाहिए, तो उसके बारे में थोड़ा डिस्कशन हम करने वाले हैं. और उसके बाद में हम सिस्टम सीखने का शुरुआत करेंगे. और आज और कल 2 दिन में हम ये टॉपिक और डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम, पचन संस्था, उसके बारे में बात करेंगे. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, फॉर दोज हु ऑलरेडी डन एनी फॉर्मल योगा कोर्स और दोज हु हैव गॉट एनी साइंस बैकग्राउंड और दोज आर फ्रॉम मेडिकल प्रोफेशन, so they might get bored, so I hope they bear with me, but it is necessary to know for everybody why do we need to learn this topic in any yoga course. You go to any kind of formal yoga course, whether it is diploma course, whether it is any degree course or postgraduate course, anatomy and physiology is always included in all these courses, so it is so important, especially in today's world. So we'll just take a brief review of that. So first of all, there are 2 words, one is anatomy and the other is physiology. Before going ahead, I would like to tell you that it is easier to speak about this topic in English, क्योंकि हिंदी में थोड़ी सी बात करना कठिन है, क्योंकि हिंदी के शब्द बहुत बार कठिन होते हैं. कठिन मतलब जिन लोग को हिंदी उतनी अच्छी नहीं आती उनको कठिन लगते हैं. तो जिन लोग हिंदी मीडियम से है तो उनसे मैं क्षमा चाहूँगा, मैं कोशिश करूँगा, लेकिन थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है. इंग्लिश में बात करना थोड़ा आसान है ये सिस्टम के बारे में. तो एनाटॉमी means that there are various definitions of anatomy, but anatomy in simple terms means that a study of different parts of the body and the relation of different parts to each other. मतलब हम स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में बात करते हैं एनाटॉमी में, जो हमारा बॉडी कैसा है, शरीर कैसा है, उसके स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में बात करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल अभी एक कार की बात करेंगे. कार है तो अगर कार चलाना सीखना है पहले हमें, तो कार का स्ट्रक्चर कैसा है जानने की जरूरत नहीं रहती है, लेकिन जानते हैं तो अच्छा रहता है. मतलब कार में स्टीयरिंग व्हील है तो उसके अंदर इंजन में क्या होता है, कौन से पार्ट है इंजन में, वो कैसे चलते हैं, एक पार्ट इंजन के एक पार्ट का दूसरे पार्ट से संबंध क्या है, व्हील्स के साथ कैसा उसका लगाव है, ये सब चीजें अगर हमें पता है तो हम जो गाड़ी की देखभाल करना है या कुछ मेंटेनेंस करना है वो अच्छी तरह से कर सकते हैं. तो सिमिलरली इन योगा, एटलीस्ट इन द बिगिनिंग, वी आर डीलिंग विद आवर बॉडी. हम शरीर से ही शुरुआत करते हैं योगा में. जो आसन करते हैं या कोई भी सूक्ष्म व्यायाम करते हैं तो शुरुआत हम शरीर से करते हैं. तो अगर शरीर को जानते हैं अच्छी तरह से तो ये जो योगा साधना का जो परिणाम हमारे शरीर के ऊपर होता है उसके बारे में जानकारी मिलना थोड़ा सा आसान हो जाता है. तो उसके लिए ये टॉपिक पढ़ना बहुत जरूरी है. तो बेसिकली एनाटॉमी डील्स विद डिफरेंट स्ट्रक्चर्स ऑफ द बॉडी एंड मोर इम्पोर्टेंटली देयर रिलेशन विद ईच अदर. तो हम बार बार ये बात करेंगे आगे चलते हुए कि हम जो अलग अलग हिस्से सीखते हैं ये टॉपिक के बारे में. शरीर के सर है या पचन संस्था है या सर्कुलेटरी सिस्टम है, अलग अलग सिस्टम्स है. लेकिन
आवाज येत नाही रे.
सॉरी, आवाज येत नाही आहे
सर. ओके, चालू आहे ते, त्यांना आवाज येत नाही आहे, एकट्याचाच प्रॉब्लेम आहे, आम्हाला
येतोय ना. ठीक आहे, ओके. तो उसके लिए अलग अलग हिस्से में बांटते हैं हमारे अभ्यास के लिए. बट जिसने ये शरीर बनाया है हमारा, जिसने हमको बनाया है, whether in nature or God, whatever you believe in, he has made us as a whole. तो पूरे शरीर के अभ्यास के लिए हिस्सों की जरूरत रहती है. हिस्से को सीखेंगे तो पूरे शरीर को जानना थोड़ा आसान हो जाता है. Then we have to take into consideration some important aspects of structure. Anatomy is regarding structure. The structure is defined. मतलब ये इसमें बदलाव बहुत कम होते हैं। अभी स्ट्रक्चर हमारा हाथ है, उंगलियां है, ये उंगलियां जन्म से मेरी ऐसी है, आगे चल के भी ऐसी उंगलियां होने वाली है, रहने वाली है। उसमें बदलाव जरूर होंगे, बदलाव जो स्किन में बदलाव होंगे, नाखून में बदलाव होंगे, कलर में बदलाव होंगे, लेकिन उंगलियां वैसी रहने वाली है। सो स्ट्रक्चर इज ऑलवेज डिफाइंड, स्ट्रक्चर इज मोर ड्यूरेबल, मतलब ज्यादा समय तक काम करता है। हमारा नाक है या होठ है वैसे रहने वाले हैं शुरू से लेकर आखिरी तक, लेकिन चेहरे में बदलाव जरूर होगा। शुरू में जो मेरा चेहरा था बचपन में वैसा अभी नहीं रहा है, और 10 साल के बाद में चेहरा ऐसा ही रहेगा। तो लेकिन चेहरा का बेसिक जो है वैसा ही रहेगा। मतलब आप अगर मुझे 10 साल के बाद में मिलते हैं तो मैं कहूँ आप पहचान लेंगे, उसमें बदलाव जरूर आगे होंगे, लेकिन आप पहचान लोगे, क्योंकि स्ट्रक्चर इज मोर डिफाइंड एंड इट इज मोर ड्यूरेबल एंड चेंजेस टेक प्लेस ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम। आज और कल में भी चेंजेस होते हैं, इट्स नॉट दैट चेंजेस आर नॉट हैपनिंग, एक्चुअली चेंजेस आर हैपनिंग इन आवर बॉडी every moment our body is changing, but those are not perceived very easily. For perceiving those changes it takes some time, so changes take place over a period of time. तो उसी के लिए हम योग साधना के बारे में बात करते हैं। सो आई विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट योग साधना साइमल्टेनियसली, क्योंकि ऐसा करेंगे तो जानना बहुत आसान हो जाता है। तो योग साधना की बात करते हैं तो हम साधना करने के बाद में शरीर में बदलाव जरूर आते हैं, मतलब आवर बॉडी चेंजेस बिकॉज ऑफ डूइंग योग साधना, but we have to remember it takes long time to get those changes, because changes take place over a period of time. This is the ये निसर्ग का नियम है ये, क्योंकि वो बदलाव होने में समय लगता है। तो ऐसा नहीं कि आज हम आसन करना शुरू किया 1 महीने के बाद में एकदम हमारी अच्छी खासी बॉडी बन गई, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है। So it will take time. So there are going to be, it has been shown that there are some positive changes in some structures of the body also when you do yoga sadhana for a long time, but that happens over a period of time. दूसरी बात है फिजियोलॉजी, जो दूसरा हिस्सा है। फिजियोलॉजी इज अ स्टडी ऑफ फंक्शंस ऑफ नॉर्मल बॉडी। इट इंक्लूड्स द स्टडी ऑफ डिफरेंट केमिकल फिजिकल चेंजेस टेकिंग प्लेस इन द नॉर्मल बॉडी। मतलब हमारे शरीर में जो बदलाव होते हैं, जो केमिकल रहते हैं, फिजिकल रहते हैं, इलेक्ट्रिकल रहते हैं, उनका अभ्यास करना है फिजियोलॉजी है। मतलब एनाटॉमी स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में बात करता है और फिजियोलॉजी कार्य के बारे में बात करता है। द फिजियोलॉजी टॉक्स अबाउट द फंक्शन ऑफ द बॉडी, एंड वन मोर इम्पोर्टेंट वर्ड इज दैट फिजियोलॉजी स्टडीज द फंक्शन ऑफ नॉर्मल बॉडी। मतलब जिसमें कोई भी व्याधि है ऐसी, शरीर का अभ्यास फिजियोलॉजी नहीं करता है, उसका अभ्यास जो करते हैं उसको कहते हैं पैथोलॉजी। जो पैथोलॉजी है, जो ब्रांच है मेडिसिन की, वहाँ अभ्यास करते हैं कि व्याधिग्रस्त शरीर है उसका अभ्यास उसमें करते हैं, और फिजियोलॉजी में नॉर्मल बॉडी का अभ्यास करते हैं। अभी जो हमारे जो फंक्शन है, कार्य है, उसमें हमेशा बदलाव होता रहता है। देयर इज अ कांस्टेंट फ्लक्चुएशन इन फंक्शन ऑफ आवर बॉडी। अगर खाना खाते हैं तो शरीर में बदलाव आ जाते हैं, खाना आगे जाता है, हजम हो जाता है, तो शरीर में बदलाव हो जाते हैं, बदलाव होते रहते हैं पूरे। तो दैट मीन्स दैट द कांस्टेंट फ्लक्चुएशन इन फंक्शन इज हैपनिंग। देयर इज अ फ्लक्चुएशन इन आवर हार्ट रेट, फ्लक्चुएशन इन ब्लड प्रेशर, सभी में फ्लक्चुएट होता रहता है। इट्स नॉट नेवर कांस्टेंट। ब्लड प्रेशर जब भी हम गिनते हैं तो हम देखते हैं कि मेरा ब्लड प्रेशर 120/80 है, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि अगले 5 मिनट के बाद में वो शायद 125/85 ही रहेगा। उसके बाद में थोड़ी देर के बाद में आप वापस 120/80 आ जाएगा। मतलब देयर इज स्मॉल वेरिएशन। ऐसा नहीं होगा कि मेरा 120/80 है और 5 मिनट के बाद में 250 हो गया, ऐसा नहीं होगा। बट देयर फ्लक्चुएशन हैपनिंग इन द फंक्शन ऑफ द बॉडी। एंड सेकंडली देयर इज ग्रोथ और डीके ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर लीड्स टू चेंज इन द फंक्शन। हम देखते हैं कि हम शुरू से बचपन से हम बड़े हो जाते हैं, सो आफ्टर यंग डेज आर ओवर देयर इज ऑलवेज डाउनवर्ड टेंडेंसी। हमारे शरीर की टेंडेंसी डाउनवर्ड रहती है, मतलब डीके होता रहता है। शुरू में ग्रोथ रहता है, बाद में डीके होता है। एंड आफ्टर द एज ऑफ से अबाउट 21 to 25 इट इज ऑलवेज अ डाउनवर्ड ट्रेंड, मतलब डीके इज हैपनिंग इन द बॉडी। ऑफ कोर्स योग साधना इज नोन टू प्रोलॉन्ग दैट डीके, मतलब डीके जल्दी नहीं हो पाए उसके लिए साधना का हमेशा परिणाम होता है, लेकिन डीके तो होने वाला है सबका। सो दिस इज द टिपिकल फिजियोलॉजी which is there in our body. Now in the ancient scriptures also it has been said, स्वदेहे यो न जानाति तस्य सिद्धिम कथम भवेत। मतलब सिद्धि मतलब जो कुछ हमें मिलाना है योग में आके या आध्यात्मिक साधना करते हैं, तो उसमें हमारे जो कुछ गोल है, देयर इज सम गोल, देयर इज सम साध्य, तो उसके लिए जो सिद्धि जो मिलने के लिए जो कुछ करना है, अगर हमारे शरीर का ज्ञान नहीं रहेगा तो हम नहीं पा सकते, ऐसा पुराने ग्रंथों में लिखा गया है। But we have to always will take a review that ancient concepts of human body were different, and the modern concepts based on modern medical science is different. So ancient concepts of human body were empirical approach. There was less objectivity, but that came from contemplation. The Rishi Munis sat in dhyana or samadhi avastha, and then they had that knowledge. And now, of course, we get that knowledge in a different way. So it was based on subjective experiences, and the concepts were arrived by introspection. In Ayurveda also, there was a study of anatomy they used to do. It has been said that even Ayurveda, the physicians at that time, they used to do extensive study of human body. And Sushruta also has mentioned about study of human body. And he has also mentioned that the study of human body is useful for yoga also. That means this is a reference in ancient scriptures. And then the earlier Rishi Munis considered the different aspects of human existence as one unit, a single unit. मतलब हम एक आदमी है, इसका विचार वो लोग करते थे. और आजकल के जमाने में science, modern science is different. The modern science always studies everything in parts, and then the whole picture is clear to us. It's like jigsaw puzzle. We know jigsaw puzzle. So modern science tries to study a different piece of jigsaw puzzle, then join that together so that the whole picture is visible to us. And earlier times, our Indian tradition, they used to look at the whole picture and not the parts. So this is the main difference between the way they used to study that. And they have always considered structure and function together. They never considered anatomy and physiology as separate aspects of human being. They always consider structure and function together. And of course, they had the concepts of Panchamahabhuta, which can be seen and perceived, then Panchakosha, which cannot be seen by human sense organs, and Prana, Nadi, Chakra, again, those are the functional aspects which are not perceived by our sense organs. So all these included the study of our body and mind. Now regarding modern concepts, they are more objective, they are more analytical in nature, and modern science studies the structure of the body in a very detailed manner. Not only external, which is visible to the naked eye, but as perceived through sense organs also. And in medical college, everybody must be aware that the students have to dissect the body. They get a human body and they dissect the body completely from head to toes. And that is how they know what is the structure of human body. And then they are supposed to study physiology in different ways, doing some experiments. So in that way, they study the function of the human body called as physiology. And now, of course, because of the modern machines, we are able to study anatomy and physiology in much more great depth. We have got latest machines available to us, computers available to us, and there are other methods which are able to investigate different aspects of our physiology. And that's why the modern science can study the anatomy and physiology at gross level. Gross means that whatever is seen with our own eyes or experience with our sense organs. Subtle means that it is there. Like for example, cell is there in our body, but we cannot see that cell with our own eyes. So that requires some microscope or some machines to see that. But that doesn't mean that cell is not there. Cell is there. There is a subtle aspect, and still subtle level, the DNA and RNA are present. So all these things are studied by modern concepts, modern science, and there are various scanning methods available which help us to know our body in a better manner. So the modern science studies the functions or physiology of the body through observation, experiments, and gadgets. And now there is a whole science of research methodology, which is utilized for doing this kind of research. So there are parameters, and then the world will accept our research only when it fits into those kind of parameters and statistics. And then you have to record, you have to produce a proof that you have seen that or you have observed that. And that is the way the modern concepts are there. And one more important aspect of modern science is that it keeps on changing. If something new comes, some new knowledge comes, it becomes available due to research, then the science accepts that. And that is a big positive aspect of modern science. Of course, there are drawbacks also, but this is a positive aspect of modern science. Now, we are going to discuss anatomy and physiology based on the modern science and also based on our yogic perspective. So how in that particular system, the changes happen because of yoga sadhana. Now, modern concepts say that structures are made to carry out a particular function. Now, in the human body, there is no spare part. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ पार्ट ऐसा बना के रखा है चलो रख दो कभी ना कभी काम में आएगा, ऐसा नहीं होता है हमारे शरीर में. Each and everything in our body has got some function to carry, and if there is no function to carry, then that part is no longer there. जैसे पूंछ थी हमारी पहले, हमको पता है कि हम वानर से नर हुए, तो पहले पूंछ थी, जैसा पूंछ का जैसा काम कुछ नहीं रहा तो धीरे धीरे पूंछ हमारी निकल गई. तो वैसा जो हमारा है कि जो शरीर में ऐसा कोई स्ट्रक्चर नहीं एक्सेप्ट वन स्ट्रक्चर, प्रॉब्ली अपेंडिक्स नाम का जो स्ट्रक्चर है, प्रॉब्ली इट डजंट हैव मच फंक्शन टू डू, but it may be having, at least we are not aware of that. So otherwise there is no part of the body which doesn't have any function, and function is because of the structure. So that's why structure and function are intimately linked. So anatomy and physiology are totally linked together, even though we study them separately, but they are linked together. Now there are some common characteristics of all the living beings. जैसे जो कोई भी जीव है उनकी जो जीने की जो शक्ति है वो किससे आती है, बेसिक मोटिवेशन है उनको, मतलब प्रिजर्वेशन ऑफ सेल्फ एंड स्पीशीज. देयर आर टू एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ एवरी लिविंग बीइंग, राइट फ्रॉम स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम अमीबा टू ह्यूमन बीइंग. जो जीव कितना छोटा हो या बड़ा हो, लेकिन खुद को जीवित रखना और हमारे जैसे और कोई एक कॉपी बनाना. So these are the two basic instincts which are present in any animal, including the human being. These are the common aspects of any living beings. Now we have got some other abilities as living beings. Most of the living beings, not only man, but even some other animals and even plants, they have got ability. Plants have got limited ability, but they do have ability that change in location and size and perception of changes in one's environment, and one gets adapted to that. Like for example, now अगर बहुत ही कोल्ड सीजन आ गया और बहुत हॉट सीजन आ गया तो क्या होता है, हमारी बॉडी उसका सामना करती है और बॉडी गेट्स अडेप्टेड टू दैट. सो इन हॉट सीजन वी गेट मोर स्वेट, इन कोल्ड सीजन वी फील कोल्ड, वी फील लाइक वेयरिंग वार्म क्लोथ्स. देन इन कोल्ड सीजन हम ज्यादा पानी पीते हैं, पानी पीने जैसा लगता है, कोल्ड सीजन में पानी कम पीते हैं. So that makes that we have got ability to cope up with the changes in the outside as well as inside environment of our being. मतलब हमारे अंदर भी कुछ बदलाव आ गए तो भी हमारे फंक्शन में बदलाव आ जाते हैं. Then maintenance of nutritional status, that is a basic instinct or basic goal of any living being, and reproduction. As you can see here, even the plants have got this ability. As the winter is nearby, so the color of the leaves will change, the leaves will fall out, only the branches will remain. And when again the ice melts and water is there, again the leaves will be there, again they will fructify. And these are the changes which are happening in the plants in response to the change in the outside environment. So that is a common thing. And Bhartrhari has said, Ahara Nidra Bhayamaithunam cha Samanyametat Pashuvi Naranam. That means that nutritional status, sleep, and sex. These are the three aspects which are common to all the animals as well as human beings. The only difference between humans and animals is that buddhiri tesham adhiko visheshaha. The intellect is very special for human being, which is not there in most of the animals. Of course, some intellect is present in some other animals like chimpanzees or some birds also, but it's not like that level of intellect is not like that of man. And again, if we don't utilize that, then we are just like any other animals. So this has been recognized by Bhartrhari hundreds of years back or thousands of years back. And now we see many examples of people not utilizing the intellect in the right way. And that's why they fall from being human. So we see examples every day, but it has been recognized in our scriptures. So now we'll go ahead and we'll see just some basic concepts of anatomy and physiology. The basic structural unit of the body or organism is called as cell. जो पेशी कहते हैं, तो cell is the basic unit, functional and structural unit. ये बात याद रखना जरूरी है. Cell is not part of the but smallest unit of the body which independently has got structure and function. मतलब cell के अंदर कई parts हैं. There are many parts in the cell, but they are all working together like one unit. Actually, one cell is just like one small animal, one like bee, like amoeba जैसा है ना एक cell. So actually, human body is a conglomeration of different cells, different living beings called as cells, and they come together to form a human body. So cell is the basic structural and functional both. We have to remember these two words. Then cell के अलग अलग हिस्से, we can talk about cell at great length, but one thing we should know about cell is that cell has got a covering called a cell membrane, and cell membrane has got some openings. As we can see here, there are openings called as proteins. They are made of proteins, and there are some gates in those cells. So cells will allow certain substances inside to get inside the cell, and the cells will allow certain substances to go out from the cell. And each cell has got different kinds of gates which will allow certain substances. And this is a very important mechanism क्योंकि हम जो cells require constant supply of oxygen and glucose for their function, and that supply comes through the blood to each cell, and then the cells have to throw out the waste products of that. So they are thrown out of that, and those gates prevent the not required chemicals or other substances coming inside the cell. Of course, there are some kind of cells who will deceive that. जैसे हम देखते हैं कि हमारा प्राइम मिनिस्टर रहता है, प्राइम मिनिस्टर के घर के बाहर बहुत सारी सिक्योरिटी रहती है. There is a great security outside the prime minister's residence, and if you want to meet the prime minister, you require certain permission and lot of permits and papers, and they will be checked, and then the gates will open for you. Otherwise, the gates will not open for you. But there are ways and means. जैसे हम देखते हैं हैकिंग करते हैं, आजकल के समय हैकिंग बहुत बढ़ गया है ना. मतलब कंप्यूटर का हैकिंग कैसा करते हैं? Otherwise, the password, because of password, we cannot enter somebody else's computer. But if you hack the password, you can enter there. Similarly, there are some viruses and bacteria which will hack those gates, those systems, and they will enter the cell and they will destroy the cell. Now, the virus, of course, is doing the same thing. COVID virus is doing the same thing. So he is entering the human cells, and he is destroying the cells, and he is making use of the cell parts to make more viruses like itself. So this is the cell membrane. That's why I have included that. We should have some knowledge about that. Now, there are number of types of cells in the body, and the number of cells are around 10 trillion. Probably in our calculation, it may be more than 10 crores of cells are present in the human body. 10 crores of cells are present in the human body, or more than 10 crores. Now, these cells are in various shapes and sizes. Now, we had discussed earlier that the structure depends on the function, and the structure is made for function. So similarly, ये जो अलग-अलग cells दिखते हैं हमको, these are the basics are the same. They are just like any other cell, but the shape is different, their function is different, and depending on the function, the shape is different and size is different. जैसे muscle cell दिखता है, muscle cell is like a fiber, like an elastic. Now this is a आंखों का अंदर का जो हमारी पेशी है वो है hair cell, then sperm cell. So all these cells are having different shapes, but they are basically the same, but they have got attended shapes to carry out a particular function, and depending on the function, they are given a particular shape. These are types of say blood cell दिख रहे हैं हमारे, RBCs दिख रहे हैं यहाँ पर. So these are various types of the cells which are present in the human body. Then inside the cells there are various aspects, and DNA and genes are the software. So we can say that the genes and DNA is the software of each person, and each person has got its own software. It is a personalized software. मतलब software तो common है. Every human being has got same software, but they have personalized that. So each person has got separate aspects of that software. So all the humans are alike, but each person is different because of he has got different DNA and different genes. So those are the smallest, the subtlest aspects of our being, DNA and genes. Then there is one more type of cell called as stem cells. The research is going on very much on this concept for past few years. ये बहुत ही concept बढ़ गए हैं आजकल के ज़माने में. So there are various types of stem cells. The stem cells are not differentiated cells. जैसे देखते हैं कि I hope you are able to understand. तो जैसे बच्चा शुरू में माँ के गर्भ में रहता है, गर्भ जब भी माँ के पेट में रहता है तो शुरू में 2 सेल रहता है या 4 सेल रहता है, फिर उसका 4 का 8 बनता है, 8 का 16 बनता है, ऐसे सेल बढ़ते जाते हैं. सो इनिशियली द सेल्स आर द सेम, सेल्स का साइज सेम रहता है, दिखने में सेम रहता है, फंक्शन सेम रहता है, एंड जैसे जैसे आगे बढ़ते जाते हैं, 1 महीना हो जाता है, 2 महीना हो जाता है, सो द सेल्स विल चेंज द शेप so that they can carry out a particular function of a particular organ. For example, some cells may have a particular shape of which they will become muscle later on. Some cells will become liver later on, so on and so forth. So stem cells are the primitive cells which are not differentiated in the final cells, and there are 220 types of cells found in human body. जैसे हमने अलग अलग शेप देखे तो 220 प्रकार के पेशी हमारे शरीर के अंदर है. तो ये स्टेम सेल है, वो स्टेम सेल की वैशिष्ट्य ऐसा है कि द स्टेम सेल, द एम्ब्रियोनिक स्टेम सेल, if we put it in human body in a particular way, we change the software, so it can develop into the human cell. For example, the time will come when there is some problem with the liver. For example, liver is not working, liver is degenerated, so they will put stem cells in a particular way in that area, so that those cells will become like liver cells and new liver can be grown. So maybe that will happen in near future. So stem cells have that kind of potential to form into new cells. Now when group of cells come together to carry out a particular function, that is called as a tissue. या उती कहते हैं. Tissue मतलब the similar kind of cells will come together and they will form a tissue. Tissue मतलब क्या है? There is a smooth muscle tissue or loose connective tissue, blood tissue. So the epithelium tissue, that means that this covers the body. This covers the body called as epithelial tissue. So those tissue the cells will come together and they will form a tissue. And now some tissues will come together, some tissues which are doing similar kind of work, not necessarily that structure will be same, the structure will be different, but function is similar. So they will come together and form an organ. For example, lung, हमारे फेफड़े है, तो फेफड़े के अंदर काफी सारी टिश्यू है, तो लेकिन टिश्यू एक जैसे टिश्यू है, वो काफी सारी सेल्स है, टिश्यू एक जैसा ही है, एंड दैट्स व्हाई लंग टिश्यू इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम हार्ट टिश्यू. Lung tissue is not same as heart tissue, or lung tissue is different from the stomach tissue, but basic contents are similar, but it is different because the similar type of tissues have come together to form an organ. तो organ के सब जो tissues रहते हैं वो एक जैसे रहते हैं, ऐसा नहीं कि एक जैसे रहते हैं, उसमें अलग अलग हिस्से भी रह सकते हैं, but they are carrying out similar function. That's why they are considered as organs. And then a group of organs carrying out similar functions is called a system. जो सिस्टम सीखते हैं, शायद आपने सर्कुलेटरी सिस्टम सीखी होगी. सर्कुलेटरी मतलब सर्कुलेशन जो करती है, वो सिस्टम के जो अवयव है वो एक साथ में हम अभ्यास करते हैं, उनको कहते हैं सिस्टम. So basically systems are differentiated so that we can study our body and functioning of the body in a particular way, and that's why systems are considered separately, but no system of the body is working separately. और सब सिस्टम एक साथ में ही काम करने में जुड़े रहते हैं. So we need to remember that. So these are some examples of some systems. So there are 4 levels of organization present in the human body, as we have already discussed. First level is cells, second level is tissues, third level is organs, and fourth is organ systems. This is how our body is organized, and this is how we study our body. This is a fetus, जो हमारे पेट में जो बच्चा पैदा होता है उसके पहले जो fetus बन जाता है, ये fetus का एक चित्र है. So there are various now, as we can see that different structures are forming here in this fetus, and then आगे बढ़ के हुए उसके जैसे हम अवयव जो जन्म लेते हैं बच्चा, तभी जैसे अवयव होते हैं वैसे बन जाएंगे, लेकिन शुरुआत यहाँ से होती है. It's just for your now. Body has got different parts. Now we'll consider the gross aspects of the body. The systems are slightly subtle aspects of the body, and gross aspects of the body. Body is divided into 3 parts. One part is head and neck, मतलब गर्दन के ऊपर वाला हिस्सा. The other part is हाथ और पैर, extremities, hands and feet, and the third part is the middle part called as torso or trunk part. So body is basically divided into 3 parts for describing it and studying it. So we need to know about this. The hands and feet are called as extremities, and the बीच में वाला जो trunk है, that is called a trunk, and head and neck. So these are studied separately. As we can see, males and female have got similar organs, but there is some difference between them. So we'll study them as we go ahead. So these are just examples. The head, face, neck, all these parts are same in male and female, but inside organs are slightly different. and this is the outside anatomy of male and female. These are the internal organs, as example, brain, lymph nodes, lungs, muscles, liver, etc., etc. So we are going to study that at length. So just to show you, I have got this diagram here. Then there are various cavities inside our body. So these are the three major cavities inside our body. One is the skull, मतलब हमारा सर का हिस्सा. One is the chest, called as thorax, and the पेट का हिस्सा abdomen. So as a yoga student, we should know the technical names also. जो हम हमारी भाषा में जो नाम है उसके सिवा हमको ये technical name like thorax, chest is called as thorax, हमको पता होना चाहिए. Abdomen, the पेट को abdomen बोलते हैं या skull बोलते हैं. So these even though these medical terms, there is no need to know all the medical terms, but as a yoga student or a yoga teacher, we need to know at least some important medical terms, and we should be able to know the meaning of that. So that is very important when we study anatomy and physiology. This organization, as we have seen that the body, not only body, but the whole nature is organized structure. जो विश्व पूरा है, उसमें कुछ एक यंत्रणा है जो organized है. The whole universe is organized structure, and we are part of that universe which is organized. So similarly, our body also is organized inside. One simple example is that the optimum utilization of space inside the body. मतलब हमारे शरीर में बहुत ही कम जगह है, वो जगह में इतने सारी चीजें भरी हुई है. So the nature of God is so great that He has given so many different organs in such a small space. जैसे आजकल के जमाने में देखते हैं ना, हम शहर में हम रहते हैं तो वन रूम किचन का फ्लैट रहता है, उसमें काफी सारी चीजें हमको डालनी पड़ती है. डाइनिंग टेबल भी चाहिए, बेड भी चाहिए, सोफा भी चाहिए, टीवी भी चाहिए, और उसके लिए इंटीरियर डेकोरेटर जो रहते हैं आजकल के जमाने में, जो ट्रेंड डेकोरेटर, वो सारी चीजें वो एक वन रूम किचन में भी डाल के, जो चीजें 3 bedroom फ्लैट में वही चीजें वन रूम किचन में डालते हैं. दैट इज स्किल ऑफ इंटीरियर डेकोरेटर. But the skill of the God or nature is much more greater than interior decorator, that he has got so many things inside a small part of the body. So this is the organization of the body. मतलब कोई भी हिस्सा हमारा ऐसा ही नहीं है जिसमें काम नहीं है. मतलब there is no space in the body which is not required to be there. And all the complex functions, the functions of the body are very much complex. जैसे बहुत बार हम सोचते नहीं हैं. Even now you are listening to a lecture, you are looking at a screen and you are writing the notes. It is very, very complex function. हमको पता नहीं चलता है. It is so complex and it involves so many aspects of our function, but we don't realize that. So the function is so complex, but it's done in a so easy way because of this organization present in our being, body as well as the mind. So these are the keywords: coordinated and integrated manner. So all the organs, all the cells, all the tissues, all the systems are working in our body in coordinated and integrated manner. मतलब एक साथ में काम करती है, एक साथ में जुड़ा के काम करती है, अलग अलग काम नहीं करती है. ऐसा नहीं कहता है कि अभी एक दिन चलो सुबह उठ के हार्ट को ऐसा लगा आज बहुत हमने काम किया, आज काम नहीं करेंगे, आज आराम करेंगे. तो ऐसा नहीं होता है ना. हार्ट का काम बंद हो गया तो पूरे संस्था का काम बंद हो गया, ऐसा है ना. या खाना नहीं खाएंगे, ठीक है, थोड़ी दिन तक हम रह सकते हैं बिना खाना खाए, लेकिन वी कैन नॉट लिव फॉर लॉन्गर टाइम. तो उसके लिए ऑल द सिस्टम्स आर वर्किंग टुगेदर in coordinated manner, and there is external environment, मतलब बाहर का वातावरण जो है वो बाहर है, उसके मुताबिक हमारे शरीर में बदलाव होते हैं, और अंदर का जो environment है उसके मुताबिक हमारे शरीर में बदलाव हो सकते हैं और होने पड़ते हैं. The internal environment is called as the environment around the cell inside the body, and the main aspect of organization is that there is a constant balanced internal environment. मतलब बाहर सर्दी हो या बाहर बरसात हो या बाहर गर्मी हो, लेकिन अंदर का जो एनवायरनमेंट है वो मेंटेन रहता है. ऐसी क्षमता हमारे शरीर में. सो द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट aspect of this function of our body, that internal environment is always maintained in a balanced state. And as we know, yoga is nothing but balance. We always say yoga is balance. So samatvam yoga uchyate, and there are so many definitions. So this is called as homeostasis. ये homeostasis शब्द है, उसके लिए टेक्निकल वर्ड. Homeostasis means that all the parts of the body are constantly maintained in a particular way, and is always a tendency to go towards the balance and go towards the organization. मतलब हमारे शरीर के हमेशा टेंडेंसी रहती है कि हमेशा वो बैलेंस की तरफ बढ़ेगा. For example, we have got injury. For example, we get a cut on our hand. So what will happen? the body will start producing so many changes there. In no time, the skin will get healed up. हमारे शरीर की जो प्रवृत्ति है, natural tendency is to get cure, going towards a cure, going towards a balanced state from human state is the property of our body and mind. योग में बहुत ही काम आती है कि हम देखते हैं कि काफी सारी मेडिसिन हमको मदद करती है कुछ व्याधि हो गई तो, लेकिन बेसिकली हमारे शरीर में क्षमता रहती है कि कुछ व्याधि हो गई तो उससे बाहर निकलने का, कुछ कारण से वो नहीं हो पाता है तो वो बात अलग है, बट बेसिकली वी हैव गॉट दैट एबिलिटी एंड दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ होमियोस्टेसिस प्रेजेंट इन आवर बॉडी. So homeostasis is staying in balance always, and homeostasis, of course, there are many things working. When we say homeostasis, there are enzymes, there are chemicals are working, electrical signals are working, so they are responsible for all the cells functions, and constant glucose level is maintained in the blood. For example, this is one of the examples of homeostasis. That constant level of glucose is maintained, body temperature is maintained. हम स्नोफॉल होता है वहां पर जाएंगे, अगर बाहर का तापमान 0 से भी कम है लेकिन हमारा अंदर का तापमान वही रहता है, बाहर का तापमान बढ़ गया हम रेगिस्तान में चले गए तो भी वैसा ही अंदर का तापमान सही वही रहता है. Maintenance of water level inside our body. So all these are the examples of homeostasis which are there inside our body. Now these are dynamic interrelationship. The structure, as we already discussed, structure is more defined, structure is more durable, and changes take place over a period of time. They will not happen immediately. जैसे अभी देखते हैं कि शायद अभी आजकल के जमाने में हम देखते हैं कि बच्चे लोग का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, बच्चे लोग ये दोनों अंगूठों का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. मोबाइल को टाइप करने के लिए 2 अंगूठे काफी है. हम सीनियर लोग क्या करते हैं, सारी उंगलियों का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. तो ऐसा शायद कुछ साल में ऐसा हो जाएगा कि ये बाकी के फिंगर्स की जरूरत नहीं रहेगी आदमी को. So there will be only thumbs present, just like we don't have the पूंछ नहीं हमको, वैसा हमारा रहेगा. So we'll just like we don't have tail. Similarly, after a few generations, there will not be any fingers. Only thumbs will be there. So only those are required. So just a fun, but this is the way our body functions, and function has got constant fluctuation. Even though it is constant, but it's fluctuating all the time. तो आपको समझ रहा है शायद, ऐसा लगता है मुझे थोड़ा फास्ट जा रहा हूँ लेकिन समझ रहा है सब लोग को, especially those who are new to these concepts.
Yeah, please, all students.
If any difficulty is there, please let me know. ऐसा नहीं कि एक सिस्टम का फंक्शन बहुत ही अलग सा है, ऐसा नहीं है. They are overlapping to each other, and then as we have already discussed, there is efficient ergonomic use of the space inside our body, and again the division of the systems is empirical only for the sake of convenience of study. So briefly we'll see which systems are studied in our body. One is called as skeletal and muscular or musculoskeletal system. It is regarding the movement in one short line. There are many functions of course, but one important function is movement of the body. Then there is nervous and endocrine system. Those are responsible for the organization and control of the whole body. So those are clubbed to, these are 2 systems, but they are clubbed together so that they are responsible for organization and control of the whole body. The nervous system is regarding, it should be respiratory. There is a spelling mistake. Respiratory system is regarding inhalation, intake of oxygen, and exhalation of waste gases. Is respiratory system. ये गलती से nervous system हुआ है यहाँ पर. So it is respiratory system. Then there is digestive and excretory system, which is responsible for intake, making the food available to the body, and expelling the unwanted waste from the body. Then there is a circulatory lymphatic system, which is responsible for circulation of fluid inside our body. It circulates the nutrients, gases, and waste products, and is responsible for immunity of the body. And reproductive system, of course, is for propagation of the species, which you have seen that basic instinct is there. उसके लिए reproductive system काम करती है. So these are the briefly discussion about the different systems of the body. And of course, in this curriculum, we are discussing each system separately. Now, human beings are very special. हमारे सब जो प्राणी है, उसमें जो आदमी है वो खास है. जैसे हम देखा है, भरतुर ने कहा है कि बुद्धिरितेशा अधिको विशेषः. So because of our intellect, we can pursue so many things which other animals are not able to do that. We have got ability to be conscious of our own consciousness. It's difficult sentence to just think about that. कि मुझे पता नहीं चुप है. Self-consciousness. They self-conscious that I'm aware that I am. So I am different, the other person is different. I am aware of about, probably animals are not aware of that. So एक जो there is one tiger, there is another tiger. So they are not aware probably of difference between those tigers. Of course, there are some basic instincts, but like human beings, they are not aware. So they are on the basic level. Now, we'll briefly discuss why we need to study topic. Basically, we need to study this topic as a yoga curriculum because different yoga practices, different yoga sadhana causes changes not only function but structure of the body as well. And that's why we need to study these two systems at a great depth so that we understand what kind of effects will be there inside my anatomy and physiology because of the yogic practices. Now, of course, the rishis understood this by introspection. Dhyana avastha mein unko pata chal gaya. But now the times have changed. Our needs are different today. Our training, जो हमारा curriculum है, school का जो education system है, that is more scientific and more rational. That's why we need to study these subjects in that manner. And that's why we need to understand the changes happening inside our body and mind because of yoga, considering the modern scientific methods. And this process was started by Swami Kalyanandaji of Lonavala. Everybody must be knowing about Kaivalya Dham at Lonavala. So he started that, I think, more than in 1924, he started that. And he was the first yogi to study yoga in the modern scientific way, considering the body, physiology and anatomy of the body. He initiated research in the field of yoga. Many of the yogic sadhana will induce positive and negative pressure inside our major cavities. हमने जो cavities देखे, there are 3 major cavities of the body. So there will be changes in the pressure in those cavities because of yogic practices. Then there will be stretch in some parts of the body. There will be bendings. There will be some twisting happening. So that's why we need to study now at many places. So I must say that especially in the Western countries, they are studying the anatomy physiology to great depth. So probably many of us are not doing that. So they are studying the effects of the muscle, which muscles are working, then how our mind is working, how our breath is working. All those aspects are studied in great depth in modern times. और बहुत हमारा नॉलेज बढ़ गया आजकल के ज़माने में ये सब चीज़ों का अभ्यास करने के बाद में, और ये करना ज़रूरी है आजकल. Of course, the aim of yoga is not that. We all know that aim of yoga is not that. But as a yoga teacher, as a yoga student, we need to study all these aspects, even though that is not the aim of yoga. Because basically, as a teacher, we have to do our own sadhana and we have to experience by our own what is happening inside my body. And only if I experience that, then only I can teach that to others. And once I experience that there are physiological changes in my body, and then next step is to know about the pathological changes. Yoga therapy curriculum है ना हमारा, तो थेरेपी को जानने के लिए पहले नॉर्मल क्या होता है जानना जरूरी है. नॉर्मल जानने के बाद में डिसीज क्या होता है जानना जरूरी है. एंड आफ्टर यू नो द डिसीज, then we can discuss how we can do something on the disease so that we feel better. This is the process of understanding, and that's why we have to do yoga sadhana. We have to understand the differences, experience differences, and that is very critical, and that's why we need to study these subjects very well. So I think this topic I'll stop here, and this is not my own knowledge. I have taken this knowledge from these great people who have done a lot of work. Dr. Sri Krishna Kaivalya Dhama, Dr. Makaranda Gore, who was also with Kaivalya Dhama earlier, and then Dr. Shirley Tillis from S. Vyasa, and so many other references from internet and other books. So these are the 3 books which I have referred in preparing this presentation. So this part is over. Any discussion on this part? Otherwise, we'll go